Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review a Norwegian film called Thelma. Now, I saw this film, I check Rotten Tomatoes to see what films are coming out because they do a really good job of keeping track of films coming out, and I saw this film getting really great reviews, and then on another channel that I watch on YouTube, they're talking about films to check out the rest of this year, and one of the people said, if this film is anywhere near you, you got to check this out. So I was super excited, found out this is an interesting mix of a love story with science fiction, and but obviously done on a small scale, dealing with superpowers and supernatural powers. And I'm like, okay, sold me on this one. And boy, did I love this film. This is honestly one of my favorite films of the year. I usually don't watch a whole lot of films. I'm trying to expand more into films that are from different countries and different languages. My biggest thing is I feel like I get distracted by reading the actual subtitles and miss out on the actual shots, the cinematography, and everything else going on in that frame. But this film was so engrossing, and this was such an amazing film. And this was directed by Joachim Trier. I apologize if I mess up any of these people's names. Warning ahead of time. This film, how this story plays out, this mystery that's being played out, how everything is shown visually, and everything that Trier is able to do in terms of directing this film, it's beautiful. It's so well done, so much care is put into this film. And then dealing with the pacing of this film, this isn't a super quick paced film, but it's burning. It's burning, and there's tension throughout every scene, building up to something, whether it's sexual tension in terms of the scenes where this young woman is falling in love with her female classmate, and it's a very powerful relationship between these two, and I really felt the connection there, and their chemistry between these two characters, and what Trier was able to do in terms of displaying this budding relationship and this budding love for each other, and also the shame of I shouldn't be falling in love with another woman, and what this is physically doing, because all of these traumatic stressors are bringing out these crazy powers in this young woman, and the things she's able to do and the things that she has done with it. This film is poignant and dark and heavy, and there are scenes that really hit hard in this film and hit so impactfully emotionally, where you get hit with a sledgehammer. And being able to sit in this film and really feel all that is so incredible. The cinematography done by Jacob Ear, and this is a beautifully shot film. How everything is framed, all the shots are so gorgeous, and how they're used to meld, is this reality, is this in her head, and how her powers are shown, and all these different things, and the scenery of this film. And there's some really far back overhead shots of things, and how there's just this opening shot and closing shot of just looking at this courtyard, and this camera looking down at this courtyard, and you're wondering, who are we supposed to be connecting with, and how this camera slowly zooms in and finally connects with somebody. Okay, that's who we're following in this film. And just all these different things that were so smart and such interesting choices in terms of filmmaking. And then this was also written by Joachim Trier, but also by Eskil Vogt. And the story and how it melds these different genres, and what this film builds up to, and the mystery going along in this film, is so engaging and so interesting. This is a fascinating story, and the characters, these two main young women, are so interesting, and especially Thelma, our main character, is just so interesting, and what's going on in her head, the conflict she's going through, and all of these other things, with her parents, and how this film opens is so intriguing. And it's one of those kinds of things where they show you something It doesn't make a whole lot of sense at the beginning, but it connects later, but you know this is going into an interesting story, and this film does that in such an incredible way. The dialogue is interesting, and all the themes of dealing with forbidden love and dealing with who you can be with and who you can't be with, just the general struggles of finding yourself and a young person, and also trying to find your own way with your own beliefs and what's truly right and what's wrong. And it does an interesting thing with mental health illness and different things with religion and faith-based beliefs. And this film is very loaded with a lot of themes and interesting things to talk about. Now, the acting, Ely Harbo, who plays Thelma, is fantastic in this film. She's very powerful, very emotional, and you connect, you feel what she is feeling in this film. And Kaya Wilkins, who plays the young woman who she falls in love with, she is very powerful. And the chemistry between the two of them, because this movie rides so much on these two falling in love with each other, that you really do feel it, and you have this passion of, like, you could feel the connection between them and the spark. And that's needed. If you're going to have a love story in something, you need to feel that spark, and this film has it. This, and the music by Ola Flotlum is so atmospheric and creepy and beautiful at moments and uncomfortable at others, and it just builds such a strange, mysterious feeling throughout this film, because that's what this is. This is a strange mystery of what is going on with this young woman and trying to figure things out. I'm not going to give anything away, but this film will hit you hard, and it's very intriguing. This is a shocking, thrilling ride infused with such a poignant love story. I love this film. If you don't mind watching films in a foreign language and having to read subtitles, and Thelma is around you, please go check out this film. I give Thelma an A+.